Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com. This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, are my fellow Cheddar Goblins, Lisa and Nate.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Uh-oh, I forgot the rest of the joke. Who do you say?
Eric Estrada.
Oh, Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada, who?
Eric Estrada from Chips.
God, that's awful.
Yeah, that's...
I'm telling you, that didn't happen. That was my favorite shirt. That's I don't know how to pivot from that.
Yeah.
I felt like something was burned in front of me, and it was a good joke, and now it is ashes.
Best knock joke ever.
Oh, goodness. Well, welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie. We discuss a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victims, who are typically people who would not be considered horror movie fans. This week, weird happenings. I've blown the horn of what's it called?
Abraxas.
Abraxas. No unsuspecting victims showed up. We did get some weird, Hellraiser biker gang people coming in, but they didn't want to stick around with the podcast. So it's just going to be us three.
I thought you were going to say we had somebody, but then the bikers took the unsuspecting victim.
Excuse
Come on,
me.
that's even easier.
Maybe they did. I didn't see it. I'm not a party to any of that. Yeah.
Can we back up here?
Sure.
Are we forgetting that I'm a perpetual unsuspecting victim, and none the more so in this 2-hour slog fest I just had to watch?
You're definitely not forgetting.
Sometimes you rotate between depending on the movie. This seems like this movie is
definitely
one of
unsuspecting
the
victim.
You're going to fill that role just nice today.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch and I drove in a van toward you and made you watch this movie. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Yeah. This week we are, of course, talking about the brand new movie with Nicolas Cage. So we're stepping back in the cage with Mandy.
It's good to see he's still finding work.
Ooh, yeah. Well, he's finding or making work. I really don't know how this came about. We'll find out later. But before we get into all of that with this movie, I guess I have to ask y'all a debate question this week.
Yeah, we will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not blaspheme. He will punish you. The jaws of hell will devour you. All of you. No.
Okay, so this is our second Nicolas Cage horror movie. Certainly won't be the last. So many good ones, but these are two brand new ones that we've actually caught. So he's
2018.
He's keeping it busy on the horror movie circuit. So let me ask you guys, if you could see Nicolas Cage remake a classic horror film or be a classic horror creature, in whatever way you think he's going to do this, what would you like to see Nicolas Cage tackle on in a remake sense? Nate, why don't we hear from you first?
Yeah, so in this movie, I dug deep with just wanting to know all about it. In this movie, there is a reference. She says, Mandy, the titular character, says she is from Crystal Lake, which is an homage, obviously, to Jason. And
damn it, Nate.
The direction that the director gave Nicolas Cage in this movie, there's a shift in how the movie happens, which we'll talk about later. And he said he wanted him to be a killing machine, not unlike Jason. So
just because you're wearing the shirt.
And I'm literally wearing a Jason shirt right now. So very on brand. And you got to go Jason, which is interesting because Jason doesn't talk.
That's what I was going to say.
So you get Cage in a non-speaking role. But in his movie, he would be able to, he might be maskless at some point, right? Because you want to know it's Cage.
Sure.
And I feel like his face would be emotive enough, like Face Off level emotive, where it would still work, even though he couldn't talk.
Sure. Okay.
He's clearly getting the action chops, chainsaws, weird axes that he somehow had casts for metal. All kinds of weapons in this movie. Should be a natural.
Okay.
So it's Friday the 13th. Enter the cage.
Cage Rage. Yeah, I like it. Lisa, what about you?
So I think that I would want him to play Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because just the one scene that I have stuck in my head would just be when he first comes to life and he's just laying on the table and then it's Nick Cage. He just goes, I'm alive.
That was pretty good.
You just done the first teaser trailer.
Exactly. That's it.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
God's fire everywhere.
Franken Cage.
I love it.
Cage.
I love it. I really thought you were going to go.
No, it's Frankenstein. You can't cage this monster.
Oh, yes. I'd pay good money for that.
Dang, that's good.
I really thought you were going to go Leprechaun on this. So you.
Would do a wonderful Leprechaun.
It's a la Gary Oldman from Tip.
Give me back my gold. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. Just great.
I would love to hear him speaking rhymes.
Oh,
that would be. Really
I would
good.
pay good money for any of that. Fantastic. Yeah, so I went old school as well. I kind of in a little bit in between because I went for an old movie, but I kind of went with you. I don't want to hear him talk too much. I thought Nosferatu.
Ooh.
Because it's a silent film, very much facial expression. But could you imagine Nick Cage as a bald, long-toothed vampire making weird-ass Nick Cage faces?
Well, he was already in Vampire's Kiss. The classic Nick Cage movie.
See, we got a taste of it. I want more.
Okay.
I want more.
That was kind of ambiguous. This one is going to be full on. Now, I was watching Nick Cage videos today.
Yeah, as one does.
About his acting process. And he was saying that in some movies, he would go for a German impressionist style. So you're already tapping into things he's already doing. So this should be just green light. Just go.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: what franchise? Like, okay, so we've talked a horror movie. I'm curious, what franchise would you like to see him take on if you're going to see him in multiple installments?
Like Nick Cage is Laurie Strode.
Right, exactly. You know,
man,
I've got to kill my brother.
You know what? Now that watching Nick Cage in this movie, get Nick Cage purging.
Ooh, oh man, Nick Cage
purging.
If you with his own axe or whatever the hell,
he's got an axe that crosses over horror movie franchise.
That's such a good answer. I mean, all these purge movies are always from the perspective of people who are against the purge and like they're just doing it. I want to see the movie from the perspective of someone who's like, I am all in on this holiday.
Yeah,
that'd be perfect. I would love to see him just in the Saw movies. Maybe it's Jigsaw, or maybe not. He could just be there, like, oh God.
Yeah.
He just keeps surviving and ending up in the next movie.
I want to see him just as like a rookie detective. Like he's just like training, and he keeps coming to all these scenes, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't add anything to the story.
He could be the detective trying to figure it out over the course of multiple movies. It's basically a crossover with this National Treasure character.
Oh my God, Jigsaw's trying to steal this Declaration of Independence.
No, I saved the Declaration of Independence, and now I'm going to save your life.
Oh yeah, that's
perfect.
great. That's great.
Go.
That's great. At least,
dude, hold on. You know Jigsaw's part of the Illuminati. I don't see how this is not. How is he financing and getting all these things for these traps?
He's the great grandson of John Quincy Adams.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
My God. If
Nick Cage is the best.
I wish someone would give us funding to just chase these movie ideas down.
We've had so many brilliant ones.
So
in the
many.
past.
Lisa, do you have any series you would like to see?
I don't know.
What? Okay, you're unsuspecting victim, so you don't know a whole bunch of. Well,
I have one more.
Okay, let me get this out.
Okay.
And I want to come back to you.
I got one more.
But if it's not horror, what if Nick Cage was in Hogwarts? Does that appeal to you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Slytherin.
Who would he be?
I don't
Lucius Malfoy.
Snape?
would be amazing.
Him as Snape would be incredible.
You already
gosh.
have what's her face, crazy Beatrix Lestrange.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Her on the crazy side, Cage on the crazy
Oh
side.
my gosh.
Ooh, that'd have been good.
Honestly, maybe as Dumbledore.
Oh,
Hey, did you put your name to call on fire?
Oh yeah, that'd be.
it's gonna be like Keanu Reeves level of British accent happening in that one for sure.
Perfect. Blow $1 million on just the accent coaching.
Oh, I would be a lot more into Harry Potter if we had Nick Cage in there. All right, so Nate, sorry. Okay, so you had one more horror movie.
I had this same idea before you mentioned it. The one thing I like to see Nick Cage in, and it'd only be 6 episodes. Night King, Game of Thrones. Is Nick Cage?
Oh no!
Yeah,
Winter's coming.
yeah,
Winter's here.
He has one line in like the whole season.
I'm riding a dragon.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that. That probably cost too much. They're already spending like $8 billion. But
I can see it.
Yeah.
Could you see that? Because I'm imagining the Game of Thrones, the ads they did where they had like all the people's faces, right? Because they were doing like the, where the faceless men, and I can just see Nicolas Cage's face, like just sitting there, just like all crazy eyed.
One of his castles is getting repossessed somewhere in that Scotland area, right? You should be able. He's nearby for proceedings. Just get him in something. or he's one of the faceless ones. So like he uses his face to get somewhere, and then she like pulls it off.
We're gonna steal a fire-breathing dragon
in 60 seconds.
Oh,
obviously.
yes.
Okay,
yes.
I think we've run this into the ground.
Christ. All right. Well, if there is a movie series that you would love to see Nicolas Cage in, please make sure to let us know at Twitter at TX Massacre. You can also comment on this episode's page on our website at TexasPodcastMassacre.com. Thank you, everyone who has reviewed and subscribed to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, everywhere else you can download podcasts, really.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah. So thank you all so very much. With that, are y'all ready to get into some Cage rage?
Sure.
Ready to dig deep?
Hell yeah.
All right. This week's movie of the week is Mandy.
So what you gonna do with that thing?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil.
You think you're so in love? I'll show you love.
Oh man, they wronged you. You exuded cosmic darkness.
It glowed from within, strange and eternal.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. So Lisa, as the unsuspecting victim, if you had to summarize what this movie is about, let people know what, if they haven't seen it, what are they getting themselves into?
Yeah. Nick Cage and Mandy live in the middle of nowhere, I guess.
Rural Pacific Northwest.
Sure.
Yeah, in Crystal
What
Lake on
Nate
Shadow
said.
Mountain.
Yep.
And random bad stuff happens and Nick Cage unleashes his Cage-a-hall.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's pretty succinct. So Nate, what can you tell us about this one?
I know so much about this movie. So it came out this year, 2018, just released. 121 minutes. Sounds like Lisa thought it should be less, but here we are. IMDb.
But here we are. This could have been a tight 60.
Tight 60.
Oh my gosh.
IMDb gives it a 6.9, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm starting to question Rotten Tomatoes rating system.
This movie has no tagline. Which I can't, it's never happened to me
all right.
before.
So quick, just give it a tagline, Nate.
Tagline is, that's my favorite shirt. He's not like it said
I like it
a lot of times.
I like it.
You should have walked with traffic.
Oh, wow. The director is Panos Cosmatos of 2010's Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I highly recommend. If anyone liked Mandy, you should watch this. So at least I'm not recommending you Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Thank you.
But it's a sci-fi movie that is kind of similar in theme and tone. So if you did not like this, you don't like that. That was his last movie. He wrote and directed that, and he wrote and directed this. So every 8 years, this guy's going to make a movie. So 2026, get your popcorn ready.
No.
This movie debuted at Cannes Film Festival and got a 5-minute standing ovation.
It did not.
Yes, it did.
You're full of lies.
I'm not lying.
To who?
It's set in the same year as Beyond the Black Rainbow. So both these movies
Wait a
happened in
minute.
1983.
Back to the film festival.
Sure.
Did
France.
that's fine. I'm not going to bring the French into this. Did they pass out packets of LSD before they watched it? Because then it makes sense.
This is adorable that you think there are packets of them. Not a lot of LSD use in Lisa's life, probably. That's just a guess. It's just a guess for
It's
me.
a good guess.
That's why you didn't like the movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I
Oh.
don't think so. I think maybe everyone was like drinking a lot of wine. France style. But maybe that's probably your best bet there.
Yeah.
But no, they loved it. Set in 1983, the same as his last movie. So I'm wondering if all of his movies will all be set in the 1983 universe.
Mom and Dad
the Cosmatos universe, the cosmetology.
Oh yeah. Oh, his movies are all.
Yeah, exactly.
The director?
And by all of his movies, I mean 2. The score was done by.
It's a really important year for him, apparently.
Yeah, the score was done by Johan Johansson.
Oh, I love that name.
He passed away before the movie was released.
That's a shame.
This is his last kind of like big work, but the heavy metal soundtrack of this is pretty great, and I've been listening to it the last few days. It's awesome. The main actor of this movie is Cage Rage himself, featured in a previous episode, Mom and Dad. You got Wicker Man. You got the movie Rage with Nicolas Cage. That's too easy. Ghost Riders. Your Drive Angries, which I recently rewatched, and it was surprisingly decent and kind of actually similar to this movie in some ways. Which is weird. So if you want to watch Drive Angry and Mandy back to back, it's not a bad double feature.
That's a lot. That's a lot of Cage Rage and
it's a lot of Cage Rage. And then watch Rage.
Oh,
Nicolas
God.
Cage. I mean, you can't really go wrong. He's in a lot of movies coming up because bill collectors don't pay themselves, so he's very busy in the future.
Is he still paying off his taxes?
I don't know. He's in a lot of stuff. I think he's probably fine. I don't know.
He didn't pay his taxes?
Yeah. So
he was getting some stuff repossessed.
Yeah.
He
So
just bought a lot of castles and random stuff.
So fun. Louisiana fact for all you folks out there. So there is a mansion that is considered cursed in New Orleans. It's the for all you like true crime / paranormal people, it's the Lalaurie Mansion. Apparently, it's cursed. Everyone who owns it has bad luck happen. Apparently, Nick Cage bought this house. This is right after like Con Air and Face Off and all when he was really making his money shooting off. Then after he got it, pretty soon after he got hit with a tax evasion. He had a bunch of movies that bombed.
Well, hey, you know what? Don't evade taxes. I mean, that's not really the house's fault.
It's the house's fault. He got caught.
I think he's been divorced 3 times.
I think the ghost reported him. But
there's a ghost accountant somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Mandy in this movie is Andrea Riseborough. She is gonna be in the 2019 Grudge remake. So that's a good horror tie-in right there.
Yeah.
She was in the TV show, limited TV series this year called Waco about the Branch Davidians.
Okay.
Nice tie-in again to this movie.
For the unsuspecting victims, she was in Battle of the Sexes with Emma Stone.
Of course. Yep. She was in the Black Mirror episode Crocodile.
Yes, that was her.
Which was great with awesomely weird hair, which you would not recognize her at all.
No, yeah.
She was in Birdman and a sci-fi movie I like quite a bit, Oblivion, with Tom Cruise. That's it.
Did I misread?
Yeah, I was about to ask this. Go ahead.
Opening credits, or was Elijah Wood a producer of this film?
Yeah, I saw produced by Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood actually got these two guys together. Elijah Wood was in the running to play Red initially because they wanted a young guy, like a younger person versus like an old person, like a young looking person versus like an old person.
They wanted a young person, Nicolas Cage.
So then they changed the role later on for Nick Cage. Originally,
So I can blame this all on Elijah then.
Originally, Nick Cage was supposed to play Jeremiah, the cult leader.
Oh man.
That was initially how it was supposed to go.
That's what they should have done.
So we could have seen Nick Cage's penis potentially.
Fun fact about Jeremiah, he's Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins. You got to see Batman's dad's junk.
If that's not selling this movie, I don't know what is.
All I gotta say is there weren't a lot of bats in that cave. If you know what I'm talking about.
So, Lisa, your overall thoughts on this one?
You have to ask?
I do, because that is why we had the show.
All right. I have specific questions for you. Maybe you didn't like the.
All right.
This guy's style is like he has a lot of like it's called panaflares, like the softening of the image, the graininess, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you about the outfits because these people have weird outfits in this movie. What did you think about the outfits? I just want to start there.
You talked about panaflares and you're going, how does that segue into clothes?
Well, because panaflare sounds like pants. And it's clothes.
And then they were wearing pieces of flare.
And they were flared at the end.
I didn't really notice their clothes, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. I thought the clothing choices
the things
were
that
interesting.
stood out to me were the psycho bike gangs outfits. Like all the latex.
Yeah, they look like the Rubber Man from American Horror Story.
Yeah, just with knives stuck in them or whatever. Kind of like a mix
Yeah,
between that and Hellraiser.
I called them Hellraiser's rejects. Yeah.
I called one guy the human spike strip.
I know. Why is that the guy you're chasing now with your car?
Exactly.
It's a bad idea.
There was a lot of stark imagery here. I mean, it's like, you know how people say the moon landing is fake? It's like there's like the lights going like three different ways, supposedly on the moon. Like in this world, the light is coming from every conceivable angle at all times.
Yeah.
And like flashing. Like, why are lights flashing and you're like in the woods? Who knows? Like apparently in this place, there are lights everywhere that go off random colors, random times, random reasons. And it is awesome looking.
Yeah. So,
all right. So what do you think about that?
Did you take LSD before you watched this?
So what do you think about the acting? What do you think about the acting? Just
acting
the
was
roles
fine.
Generally.
I didn't mind the acting.
Anyone stand out?
I mean, Nick Cage is Nick Cage. You
know what you're getting with
you
Nick
know what
Cage.
you're getting with Cage. Mandy was good. She was fine. Jeremiah was good. I was a little upset that Jeremiah yelled before Nick Cage ever did.
Ooh,
he had that Cage rage going first.
That's true.
Yep.
And Mandy was yelling too, actually.
But the acting was fine. It was more the story was kind of weird, and then just it was too long.
I think I think it was like a Tale of Two Movies almost. The first act, the whole like first hour, just the pacing was just bad for me. It just took a long time. It was, it was one of those things where everything felt like it was done in slow motion, or they slowed it down. Like if they had actually ran it in normal time, it would have been like 15 minutes to get through all of it. The entire first hour.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the whole half hour where she's just,
all the way
burning.
up until until Nick Cage goes full Nick Cage.
Yeah.
But I think overall the acting was good. I think the music at times was great and at times was a little put off. But there was at least one point where they actually made that as kind of a joke. Like, yeah, this music's really weird. And then they like turn off a cassette and it's like the music just stops. I thought that was kind of funny.
There's some fourth wall breaking stuff happening in this movie.
Yeah, it was really the first hour was just really rough. In my opinion.
Okay, I loved it.
Well, yeah, but you're more into like, so for us horror geeks, you're more of an art house horror.
Sure, I like it more. I mean, I'm not like 100% in.
Just lean into it.
It's got to have some tie back.
Who you are
some
now.
More normal stuff. No, the opening was like setting the tone. Like, look, this is what this is gonna be. It's gonna be weird, and there's gonna be shots that are just like metaphor, and there's gonna be shots that are like I can't even find the metaphor. It's just like it looks awesome.
It just to me,
like, I guess
to me, it felt like I was watching. What's the drug movie?
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, It's like I was watching Requiem for a Dream for the first hour.
A little bit, yeah.
And then the second hour was Evil Dead.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was John Wick.
And they're just
it was
different.
it was kind of it was like a sloppier John Wick.
They're almost just two different like films almost.
They definitely inform each other, and the shot, like the consistency of the look is
I'm just talking about from like
across.
a pacing and then from an overall tone.
Yeah, I mean
perspective.
the thing about this guy,
like the story's cohesive. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
I just mean,
so this guy, I don't know if you've seen The Lobster or like Killing of a Sacred Deer.
no, I've been actually wanting to.
There are some directors. So that guy also has a Greek name. So two Greek dudes. Maybe that's weird.
Maybe.
I forgot the guy's name. But he has like a really way of like, he wants the actors to like speak stilted, like really awkward. Like that's his thing. Like they do. This guy's thing is like, everyone's going to talk real slow.
Yeah.
Like that is just the thing. I guess that's what the guy does. Beyond the Black Rainbow was actually really similar. Like there was drugs and there's LSD in that movie. Also, now that I'm thinking about it. But that's his style. But what do you think about visuals? How'd you like the visuals?
They were okay. I think, like I said, the first hour is just too much of it.
Okay.
I think had the pacing been a little bit quicker on the first hour, I think it would have been. I mean, the visuals were cool. It was just there were some of these scenes are stretched so long that you're just like, yeah. I don't know. It just took a while for me to really.
Yeah, this guy was
in.
not afraid to like luxuriate in some of these scenes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it could have been a little tighter.
What about you, Lisa? Was there anything else before we get kind of into the meat of the story here? Anything aesthetically? What did you think about like the overall
I have a feeling the way
production?
this movie came about is they took those 3 animated scenes. Were there 3? Maybe more.
Oh yeah,
there were 3. There were 3. Yeah,
There's animation.
We took those 3 animated scenes. Someone came up with them and was like, "Oh, look, I came up with this thing." And the director's like, "I got you, fam. I got a story."
He wrote the story. So.
Well, I don't know.
and he just really wanted
The
someone.
whole thing was crazy.
I will say this: if you sit there and tell me that you hate Rob Zombie movies, but you love this movie, I'm going to punch you in the face. It is.
I don't like
Rob Zombie executed these movies.
I don't like Rob Zombie as much as I like this.
Lords of Salem, Devil's Rejects, all of those have done these same things a lot better.
Don't worry, I don't like either, so it's fine.
All right, so let's talk about the big characters in this movie. So obviously we have his name's Red. We find out, and Mandy.
Don't even bother. He's Nick Cage.
That's right. I mean, Red's pretty easy.
Nick and Mandy.
Yeah, Nick and Mandy made a playlist.
Nick, Red, and Mandy. Yeah, exactly. What did y'all think about the titular character here?
She was good. She had a mysterious scar. That was awesome. Never tells you that she got some weird face scar.
Mm-hmm.
Tells a story about murdering. Oh man,
that was
so lot of animal murder in the first 20 minutes. There's like a dead deer talking about crowbarring birds.
Mitch just leans over. Does the goat die.com?
I couldn't tell if it was a goat or a deer.
It was a deer. It was a deer.
Does the woodland animal creature
I wrote down,
die.com?
does the doe die?
Does the doe die?
And then they talk about crowbarring small birds to death. So that was also a classic story.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem like, so I think the opening was like, I've had trauma. You've had trauma. We're kind of running away with it together and we're healing each other. So like to give you the story, even more than like you've come back from something. And that's why it's so wrenching when things happen to her and she gets taken.
I guess is she, does
I think
Nick
it would
Cage
have
have
been wrenching
trauma?
no matter what.
Yeah.
Besides that he's Nick Cage?
Well, I don't know if this come across in the movie. He's supposed to be a recovering alcoholic.
Yes.
That did not come across in the movie.
Yeah. There's a lot that
if I
didn't
have to
come
read
across.
shit after the movie to figure out what's going on, that's not
scene,
Easter eggs.
That's the scene when he drank. Is because I don't think he wasn't like supposed to drink. That was part of it. I think. That's
how would a norm like? Okay, y'all clearly have researched.
No, I
because I didn't know what the hell was going on.
See, I just figure he's just like, it's time to start chugging shit and going on a rampage. I wouldn't have assumed he was an alcoholic from that.
Oh, I did. I guess
like
because it was like a special like thing. Like, oh yeah, this is like fuck it.
I just thought he's like cleaning off his wounds. Like, fuck it, let's swig this shit because I'm about to do something that's gonna hurt a whole lot.
Yeah, well, no, I was thinking more like it was a symbolic, like, because this movie is like super symbolic all over the place. I mean, we'll never know what this guy was thinking because he's probably on drugs. But it was a symbolic like that. Now that she's gone, that restraint in me is gone. And now that's when he unleashes.
Oh, sure. I agree with that. I just don't think they really. They didn't really.
They weren't explicit about a lot of stuff.
Oh no! Yeah. If you're looking for explicit things, this is not your movie.
And it doesn't need to be explicit, but there needs to be some like something kind of put in there to help like bridge that gap. Like
I mean the title card for the movie, like all of a sudden happens like an hour and 10 minutes in the movie. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like Mandy just comes off again.
But it took a second. They used the death metal band font where you're like, throw a bunch of twigs on the ground. That's your death metal band. I didn't know it was Mandy for a while.
The most explicit thing in this movie is like how to forge an axe that Thor might use in his next movie. Like that was.
There's no way he would have been able to make that axe that quickly.
He's a logger, man. He knows about axes. Maybe that was it.
He had his own forge.
Yeah, man. We need a forger.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I know they try to give Mandy a kind of a mysterious background. Now she does have an unfortunate run-in with this cult. What are they called? The Children of the New Dawn.
She was just walking to work, and he's like her.
Yeah. I don't. We never. Okay, what'd you think of? First, what'd you think of the cult?
The cult was Charles Manson-y. So it was more like
it was a little Manson.
It was very Manson-y, but it was like a hippie kind of cult thing. Well, actually,
it was like if Manson's cult was run by Buffalo Bill.
Well, no, because that guy was a failed musician. That was his song that she laughed at.
I did not think that's what she was laughing at.
So in the movie, it's like
I thought she was laughing at his penis.
No, well, it was both. Because she says the song. She says the song too. Oh yeah. And she's like, "You wrote that?" And then
because it's about him.
Like song bad, penis worse. It's like I gotta laugh at you now. Like I don't owe you anything. You kidnapped me. I'm gonna laugh at you. You're terrible.
Yeah. He was the meanest cult leader though. Like I feel like most cult leaders are like manipulatively nice so that people follow them. He was just a jerk. Like everyone, he's like, "You're horrible. You do everything wrong."
Yeah. I don't. So do we ever get? I mean. The only thing I can gather as far as why he wanted Mandy was just that he just wanted to bang her, and that was really all it was.
Yeah, that's kind of his cult.
They started wrapping around this whole pseudo-religious stuff around it, and I got confused about what we were trying to accomplish here.
Wrapping a lot of pseudo-religious stuff around you to have sex with people is basically the whole point of all of religion. So.
All right, once again, Nate's war on religion continues.
No, it's not a war. I'm just saying, like, it's been used a lot of times, Mitch. Come on.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
This whole plot's been used a lot of times.
Oh, fair.
It has.
This is truthfully to me one of the worst cults. It's not a very effective. We talked about effective cults. They don't really accomplish a whole lot of anything.
Well, Mitch, maybe because they're all on drugs hard. They're all tripping, and when they're tripping, there's that weird shadow effect when everyone moves.
Oh yeah.
That is like, a
lot of LSD.
We get it.
A lot of drops of LSD.
Well, then when Mandy gets kidnapped, they give her drugs through her eye, and then they sting her with a fucking, I don't know, like a weird scorpion looking thing.
Yeah, a wasp or something.
Oh my god, that's like the biggest wasp I've ever seen. It's like, holy shit! Like that's probably why they're not very effective because their brains don't work anymore. And actually. We get a Bill Duke from Predator cameo randomly for no reason, saying like, "Yeah, someone gave him bad drugs and they've been crazy ever since." Like just explaining the whole cult real quick. Like, yeah, you gotta go get them. This movie was basically a video game. Okay.
Wait, was he talking about the cult or was he talking about the bikers? I thought he was talking about
the bikers.
I was like, that ain't bad LSD to cause those bikers.
I mean, that's what it seemed like. I think he was saying, but no, this movie is basically a video game, right?
No.
Something bad in the beginning happens. It's like a classic video game. Princess Peach is kidnapped. Basically, Mandy's kidnapped. Princess Peach burned alive in a burlap sack.
This game,
not as much.
This game is a little bit.
It's like Castlevania.
No, it's more like Final Fantasy VII. That it takes a whole half of the whole fucking game before something significant happens.
True.
You're like,
but then
that's what we're doing.
But then each of the bikers is like a boss battle, right? You're fighting through. You're leveling up your weapons. You escape being kidnapped. You get to the final boss, right? There's a huge scene where you you can choose your own dialogue.
Yeah.
And then there you go. And then his friend, the Bill Duke guy, was the NPC who gave him the information about his quest. It was basically all there.
Nate, yeah.
His whole point was that.
So let's talk about that real quick. So we're jumping around a little bit, but that's fine. He goes to his Duke to go get a weapon for him. It's like just something. Yeah. Nate, you and I have been friends for quite some time now.
Sure.
Would you hold some weapons for me? No questions asked.
Yeah.
You would just store them for me.
Yeah.
No word. Okay.
Well, yeah, because that guy seemed like a paranoid, like someone's always going to be out to get me. So if you want me to hold your crossbow and I'll use it if I need it, cool.
If you have all this knowledge about this cult that's been going around kidnapping people and you don't tell your friends, I mean, not a great friend, but if you knew about that and your friend didn't, I might store some stuff here and there. Heard about people being gutted on their like front doors.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, his home security system is just a handwritten sign that says "fuck off." So, I mean, he's not really like trying to protect himself a whole lot. He's not that concerned about it.
3 layers of defense. That's the first layer.
He's not overly concerned. I do say my favorite quote in that whole section was he's talking to Nick Cage saying, the odds against you are great, and you're probably going to die. And Nick Cage's response, "Don't be negative."
Yeah, don't.
I know. I like that.
Don't be negative.
That's faith. Okay, I can handle this.
That is life. That's your life lesson for this episode. People talking you down, telling you, "Hey, you're going after a crazy BDSM biker gang that's going to probably murder you."
Yeah.
Just push that negativity away.
Yeah.
You've got this. It's all you.
Yeah, I mean, like, we need that horn of Abraxas, like, in the studio. Like, we need a sample. We need to get it in here, put it next to the guitar and the mics. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. All right, so, let's talk about this biker gang.
There's 4 of them.
So, it requires...
4 mini-bosses.
It requires a horn.
So, are they demons? Because at first I thought they were demons.
They are.
But then they're doing drugs, like, just people.
I know.
So
it's a little confusing, but I think they're maybe humans that were turned into demons by the crazy LSD or something. I don't know. But if you read it, because I had to go read about this because I was so confused.
It's people,
it said a demon biker cult.
Oh, okay.
So
at first they do the horn of Abraxas to do the kidnapping.
Yeah.
After the guy's like, "Oh, I saw this chick and I was having sex with this girl." I said, like, "Send Sister Lucy in," and then she has sex with me in this trailer whenever I want. Gross. Maybe I should like send Mandy. And another name sounds good. When they get in this, there's a scene where the room is blue in their bedroom, of course, because why not? And it's flashing, and then everyone's there, and they're all their gear and stuff. That was creepy-ish.
Yeah.
So I call it the blue room scene because you can there's basically a rainbow in almost every shot of color at some point, but that was the blue room scene.
Yeah. So I don't know. So, I mean, they're called up to basically go kidnap Mandy, and they knock out Nick Cage.
They have a human sacrifice for the bikers. So when you call them, you're like, we needed to murder somebody also.
Blood for blood. But although they didn't murder anyone.
Yeah, they killed that one guy.
What one guy? Oh, the fat guy.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Poor Tubby. He just gets pulled away from the window.
Yeah. This is like this cult is like every time they blow the horn, it's like The Bachelor. It's like
someone didn't get a rose.
Exactly.
Someone's gonna get pulled away and murdered in the night.
So, yeah, it was bad. But no, then they kidnap her. That was interesting because they got Nick Cage bound by the hands with like barbed wire and across his mouth with barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Lisa?
I don't even know.
Because he was there for a while.
Yeah.
That was not great.
Man, he started trying to escape, and I had instant flashes to Gerald's Game.
Exactly. I wrote that down.
I couldn't watch it because I was like, if this is Gerald's Game-esque, I'm not watching this shit.
He did not get decolored.
Gerald's Game is still fucks with me to this day.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's just kind of sitting there. I mean, he has to watch, and again, this is the only time when like the slow like sitting on a scene forever was at least effective was when they brought out Mandy in a big knapsack and basically
burned her alive, hanging her on some like it was like looked like a swing set without any swings.
So we had no choice but to watch. Oh, that must sound like a horrible parent. We had to watch the first half while watching Damien because we had no choice.
Yeah,
And that scene comes on and takes forever. And I'm trying to turn him away so that he's not watching it. And he keeps like flipping around in my arms. So I like kept turning around. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Damien likes fire. It seems pretty
Well, yeah, the funny is that, the whole like first like 50 minutes of this, right? He hadn't paid attention.
He didn't care.
He's playing with his Satan speaking spell.
Not even the colors.
He's like learn Latin so he can do his hexes.
Yep.
And he's just the minute fire's on the screen, he's like, and just wants to watch. So
that scene's brutal. But the scene right before, he's like, "Hey, I got you here. We're gonna have sex."
Yeah.
D-robes. There's all these people kind of sitting around. He's like, "I'm having sex with you in front of everybody. I got you like super high, like double, like sting in the neck high."
Ugh.
That thing was like a foot long. That like bug. Oh, that insect.
Oh, you're talking about the bug.
Plays the song. Yeah. Oh, no. This was definitely not a foot long.
No, it was more of a Vienna sausage.
Yeah, it was, if that. It was like a Salzburg sausage. It was like less, even Austrian.
All right.
Than that.
All right.
But
Move
no,
on.
but then he plays the song that he wrote about himself.
That song was
song is
my gosh.
so bad. It was awesome. Then he shows off his naked body and she laughs. So that laugh was
awesome.
Awesome. It was perfect. And he's like, "Don't yell at me. No one look at me." Cuts across to everyone in the room. And then he's like, "Well, I guess she laughed at my small penis and my terrible songwriting skills. Burn her in a burlap sack." Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This guy is nuts.
Oh my god.
Because before they were just kind of like, "I'm having sex with people and I'm a terrible person and we're doing drugs," but it escalates very quickly.
Yeah, they really enjoy burning people. At least one person.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe just don't laugh in their face. I don't know.
She's on drugs.
But she was on a
Fair.
super amount of drugs.
Like no,
I mean,
she's like, no amount of drugs would make this good.
She's,
oh man, but anyway, yeah. So then she gets burnt. Nick Cage is watching. He is, I would say, emoting and acting very well considering his mouth has barbed wire in it.
Yeah,
so
it was an effective scene.
And then the shot takes forever, like you were saying. She's alive in the sack, like after like a minute, which it feels like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes, but it's a minute. Yep. He's still alive in there. That was brutal. And then he escapes. He doesn't deglove himself. He escapes. Like grabs her head, which is
she hadn't said deglove. God damn it!
Still,
fuck you, Gerald.
Her head is still like intact. And he like touches it, and it like ashes up. Like, oh my god!
Yeah,
that's brutal. Yeah. As someone who has a wife whose name is Amanda, that's tough.
So would you have gone on a cage rage as well?
Yeah, probably with guns though. I mean, I probably just would have got guns.
You wouldn't have gone to your forge in your backyard.
No, my forge is temporarily suspended. Right now.
He literally makes something that I've seen, like a weapon that you would see off of
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings or
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
something.
One of the or there's a horror survival, one of those horror survival games, right? Like, I'm the Reaper now. That's like it's like a sickle with like a stabbing. Oh my god!
The Reaper was the name of his bow.
It was.
Yeah.
And he barely used
it. So he's
it.
got a bow with a sweet scope.
Well, he got the bow, and then he's like, "I'm gonna make something even better."
Yeah. Oh no! You have my bow and my axe. He said it to himself.
Oh my god!
To himself.
And my axe.
If you would have rode it on a white horse, oh my god,
so
that'd have been amazing.
Nick Cage, a Fellowship of the Ring, but he's just everyone in the Fellowship.
Yeah, it's like
Fellowship of the Cage.
It's like the Clumps.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he just plays everybody.
Oh,
Hercules!
You shall not pass.
What?
Yes.
Oh Christ! All right, so look, he basically goes on a murder.
Yeah. So now we're in the second half. We're in the second half.
This is the good. Yeah. This is where I'm like peeking back.
We missed a little bit of recon, like this. The most tactical thing the cult did was like get information out of her to find where she lived. Right.
Yeah.
Other than that, the tactics out the window. The rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Then it is just Cage versus people.
Cage is just like I'm gonna murder all of you.
And actually, before we get in there,
Okay.
Best part of the movie. There is a commercial for the Cheddar Goblin that is in this movie. And what the fuck was
did it? Not just me, right? It vomited mac and cheese.
It vomited mac and cheese on kids like Nickelodeon slime.
Because it had 60% more cheese.
Dude.
That was their homage to Halloween 3, I swear.
That is next level good. Like it was perfect for the movie. It like cut the weird tension in between. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't even say words other than I wrote Cheddar Goblin with 10 exclamation points after it in my notes.
Yeah.
Also, I've never taken more notes for a movie than I took for this one.
All my notes are in questions. So many questions.
I have a lot of question marks too, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So first, I don't even remember where all I have written some great other Nick Cage lines. Like you're a vicious snowflake. It's fantastic.
That was a really good one.
So look, there's a lot of deaths that happen, and there's really not a whole lot of plot points to go through them. So I guess I'm gonna
kills.
Bring them down. Yeah, kills. What were some of your favorite kills? And let's save the big one to talk about, because I do want to talk about that one scene.
Yeah.
But there one particular battle. And that other, what are some of the deaths that stood out? Were there any that were really cool?
What's a memorable one for you?
Or memorable?
What are you saving? The last one? Or the fight?
The fight.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I avoided watching most of them. I don't. I just.
I mean, she watches these for you, everyone. I mean, all you non-horror fans.
Yeah.
She's putting in the hours for you, so you don't have to.
So let me segue. You gave me a plug.
Yeah.
If you are not a fan of cults, do not watch this movie. If you are not a fan of demonic entities, do not watch this movie.
Don't.
If you are not a fan of an entire hour of just slaughtering demons/humans, do not watch this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on point. Because in the second half, there are still crazy cinematic, awesome shots. Not a lot of plot, though. First part, the plot was actually kind of minimal anyway. Second half, less plot.
Yep.
The plot is I'm murdering you.
Yeah.
My favorite was the human spike strip. He shot a guy with a crossbow who has 100 nails coming out of him.
Reminded me of Running Man.
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
100 nails coming out of him.
Nitro's out there running around.
Shoots him down off his motorcycle, which is great because they're a motorcycle gang. They're best on motorcycles. Then he runs over him with his car. The guy's a human spike strip.
Yeah,
his
car
a hedgehog
flips.
of metal coming off him. And he ramps. It was pretty awesome car crash.
Yeah.
And then he gets kidnapped, right? So then he's kidnapped. So then, again, like any good video game, he's kidnapped. Got to fight your way out. Press X a lot to get the thing loose and then kill a guy.
Yeah. I'm surprised he did in this order. Like, he kills them, all the bikers first, before he kills a lot of the cult members. I thought he would have done the other way, because cult members are less threatening than the biker gang.
Yeah, it's almost like you kill the contractors before the employees, and you work there. Really, come on.
Right.
These are outside demon bikers. They're not really part of the group, but they have they have some sort of deal with them. But they were part of the kidnapping. But he did the hardest people first, and then he did the easier people.
You're one of these people that sides with the rebels are all murderers in Star Wars because of all the contract labor in the Death Star.
No, not at all.
When you take those contract jobs, you know what you're getting into.
but no, he kills them. I guess the battle happens. So he kills the vicious snowflake, hits him really hard with a pipe that comes loose, and knocks him down a hole for some reason. That's in a house. I have no clue. Is that the hell hole? Going for the demons?
But I don't think he killed him, because I thought that same guy comes back and says Enrique accuses him of cutting his shirt.
No, he cuts his shirt first, then he hits him with the
but then about 2 minutes later, he's going through the house trying to get rid of them, and that same guy came up to him. He's like, "You're the one that cut my shirt," and then
he knocks down the hole.
Oh shit! No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And then
because we were sitting there going, "That was really easy," but no, I think he.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I got
You're a vicious snowflake.
Yeah. He's a vicious snowflake. He's not a snowflake that's just gonna lay down in a hole, apparently. But no, then there's the guy he fights with and gets blood all over his face when he stabs him. That was
Yeah,
the
but
beginning
he
of like
slices
the
his
real
like neck
brutality.
with like a X-Acto knife.
Yeah.
Or box cutter, and just blood just like vomits all over his
He was
face.
like grinding on him, like trying to like crush him to death.
Well,
Like, it was,
and per Nick Cage, where he has to like reference one of his other movies, he went full 8mm.
Yeah.
In this fight scene, there's porno happening right behind him.
yeah, porn's happening. Yep,
No.
check.
And-
blood showering his face for like 5 straight seconds. Which seems short.
This is where I was like, oh,
No.
so we're in Evil Dead now, and we're gonna get further in Evil Dead in shortly.
Ish. Yeah, that's true. Then there's a guy with a gun. Come on. Demon with a gun. That's pretty lame.
Lame.
He's the guy who has the gun of the demons.
He's the newest demon.
Yeah,
probably.
he's like,
This is my first day.
it's like a training wheels of demonry.
Wasn't even supposed to be at work today.
My favorite death was the one of the, I guess, the cult members, the bald guy. I think it's I didn't remember, brother Swan, who gets like shanked in the mouth.
Oh,
And it just lingers on this shot. It
he has like a pole. He impales it through his mouth because he was saying like, "Oh, we did it." Like,
oh, she burned so bright.
yeah,
didn't
she burned so bright. She didn't fade away.
The darker the whore, the brighter the flame.
Yeah, it was gross. That was very bad. There was a tiger at one point. Let's talk about that. Tiger?
What was that scene even about? I got nothing from any of that.
The guy was like, had a tiger, and so Nick Cage takes drugs at one point also in this. So
Shocking.
He is drugged. But like psycho drugs. And like, that was part of it, but it was like, the guy's like,
Well, he
He's
was
like, let him go.
wearing a tiger sweater at one point.
Well, and he's wearing a tiger shirt earlier.
It's a spirit animal.
Yeah, that's true. And then I guess, some guys just get their neck broke. Like, that was kind of lame. He just
That's
broke,
lame.
broke one of the guy's necks. It was like Bruce Lee and
So he
Enter the
let
Dragon.
one girl go, and then later he talks to the older woman who was the one that like gave Mandy the LSD drop in the wasp thing.
Yeah.
And she
said
starts
she's
saying like, I'm the most sensuous
sensual
lover
going real in depth.
that Jebediah, has ever had or something.
Yeah.
And then it just fade to black.
Yeah, like fade to black, like because her eyes went black because her head got ripped off. By
I
an
guess
axe.
we don't really know what happened
By an
with her.
axe.
They didn't show what happened to her.
Yeah, her head got chopped off.
When did her head get chopped off?
It showed her head on the ground.
Oh, I thought that was Jebediah, just from a different angle.
No, this is earlier. So it was a
Sure.
head.
You know what? Sure.
There could have been a lot of heads on the ground, to be fair.
I don't know why. It was just a weird time to like have a weird like star wipe zoom out. It was a very weird video effect.
Dude, the lightness and darkness of this movie is just tripping all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this one particular fight before we get into the ending.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Chainsaw Battle.
Bruce Campbell would be proud. Chainsaw battle happens.
Yeah.
It's glorious. Glorious.
Now, is that
Glorious. Yes.
accurate? If you take 2 chainsaws and touch them together, wouldn't they destroy each other immediately? The chains.
Well, the one wasn't going. Nick Cage couldn't get his to start, which
Yeah.
was a pretty awesome detail because first of all, he's like a logger. So come on, he should be good with it. So if it's not starting, it's not his fault. One guy's chainsaw's moving, the other guy's isn't.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking hilarious that he keeps trying to do it. He's like dying. He's so tired. He's like on drugs.
Well,
And he's like, fuck, really? I got to fight a chainsaw guy. The guy's chainsaw is twice as long as his.
yeah. It's
And
one of
his
the
wouldn't
long
even
saws.
start.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I just, every time, so ESPN 3 or whatever, they always have those like the
log roll. Like,
well, no, they always have like the Dick's outdoor sporting goods, like lumber sports or timber games or something.
Yeah. ESPN 8 the Ocho is what you're talking about.
Yeah. This is what I want to see, and I never see it. It's just them cutting wood. I'm like, I don't want to see people work. That's a weird competition. This was incredible. I enjoyed
The
every bit
closest
of
thing to this is like when
fight.
there's 2 guys on a log or 2 people on a log and they try to like make each other fall off with balance.
Yeah.
Like that's the closest you'll probably get to that, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, this is great. Lisa, what'd you think about this particular
It's
battle?
fairly exciting. Come on.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Maybe little Damien's gonna get some woodworking skills out of this.
You
movie.
leave Damien out of this.
That fight was awesome.
Yeah.
It ended with a guy landing on the long saw and just getting like slowly just dissected with all the blood. I mean, this guy's not sparing the blood, and the blood looks crazy in the lighting, how they do it, obviously every time. So I mean, it's stark contrast.
Yeah. Like I said, very, very reminiscent, particularly to the remake for
Oh, Evil Dead
Evil
remake
Dead, yeah.
was brutal.
Yeah, especially that last scene with the chainsaw.
Yeah, I mean, I think this movie single-handedly kept like 3 neon light factories like afloat. Like it was just so much lighting, and the film was so grainy. You could
there were green strobe lights everywhere.
The film was so grainy you could slice it with a chainsaw. Like it was that much grain.
So we get to the end of this movie. First, we totally neglect the fact that their compound is a big ass pyramid with like a cruciform right in the middle.
Pyramid, like a pyramid scheme for his cult.
Yeah,
I kind of got that. It wasn't like a pyramid; it was like a A-frame.
We got into a little more of the void territory here.
Yes,
and then he meets the leader who's giving him like, stay back. God is in this room with me.
Yeah.
But and then like immediately as soon as Nick Cage walks in, like starts like grabbing his head. He's like, oh, please don't hurt me.
He says, I'll blow you, man.
I will suck your fucking dick.
But then he takes it back. He's like, no, you kneel before me. And then Cage his voice becomes basically like what I assume like if a bear could vocalize would sound like.
Yeah.
It's just like, I am your god now.
This is Batman. He's auditioning for Batman.
It was better. It was lower than Batman. Like it's like,
where are the hostages?
Like if Batman like stopped smoking, like it had like that voice.
I am the night.
He says like, I am your god now. And then, I mean, obviously Game of Thrones reference here, right? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, he just totally
mountained the guy's face.
Yeah,
like,
this is
face.
Almost as disturbing as that scene too.
His eye, I don't know what happened to his eyes. Like there's a lot of blood coming out.
Of them.
Like
they
a
popped.
lot.
Yeah,
it was kind of Halloween 3-esque how his face popped.
Yeah,
like if snakes would start coming out, I would have been pretty happy. Happy.
Yeah, and then he sets them all on fire.
Just like this, they set on fire everything he loved. He set on fire everything they loved.
Then he left, and you think, oh great, okay, so the movie's over.
Nah.
And then you see him driving off, but he sees Mandy in his car with him, and he's making the most ridiculous Cage faces. So you're getting what you paid for.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, you can't just gloss over that. When they first met, that he was wearing that 44 shirt. That's why it was his favorite shirt.
Okay.
And he was thinking about her, and then he saw her in a last hallucination as he's driving away, and they both look like, oh, I'm normal. Well, as normal as you could look with like every single color hitting your face washed out at once.
Right.
And then it snaps back to real life, and I would conservatively say has like 100 pounds of blood on his face.
Yes. And 3 moons in the horizon.
And then he starts smiling like crazy. So I'm wondering if did he get out or did he die?
I think he got out.
It seems like he got out, but like he burnt that thing and like
he got out physically. He did not get out mentally.
That's probably
I think he
what
broke.
It was.
I think he snapped.
I think he might have broken. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think this is the weirdest Ghost Rider origin story ever. But
now he's Ghost Rider.
It's well, I mean, he had the biker gang.
He stole one of their motorcycles. He stole the outfit, and then he burned himself to death.
Hell,
he
fucking penance stared the cult leader at the end of it. That's the Ghost Rider. Yeah, he's Ghost Rider.
This is a Ghost Rider prequel. That's awesome.
Origin story done. Start the chain up again. All right. Anything else you want to talk about with the overall plot points of the movie?
God, I could talk to everything about this. I just wanted to say that Nick Cage is famous for the Wicker Man remake, right? The bees.
The bees, no, not the bees.
In Wicker Man, Nick Cage, dude, burned alive. Well, the story of Wicker Man is that you get burned alive in a Wicker Man. This time, Nick Cage flips the script. He's burning the cult people alive in their shit.
They're not alive.
Well, you know what I mean. Like
he should have.
Yeah, agreed. I'm just saying he gets to do the burning of cult things, and then he was out. So I like that. That was good symmetry for his career, as if he needed anything more in his career.
Hit the drop, Mitch. Hit the drop.
I have no words.
Mitch is not hitting the drop because he's acting as slowly as the people in this movie talk. So
yeah, in about 15 minutes, the drop will hit. Oh my God. All right. Look, with all that said, I guess I want to ask you, what would you have done differently?
Son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones! Why?
All right, Lisa, besides not watch this movie, what would you have done differently?
She would have named it Lisa next. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
We see this time and again, and I guess if this didn't happen, there would be no movie. Blah blah blah. If I'm the cult, though, I have absolutely no qualms about burning this woman I just met alive. But you leave Nick Cage alive?
Well, Nick Cage didn't laugh at our leader's penis size, so
he would have if he saw it.
Lucky for Nick Cage, I guess.
I don't know. I would have. Been done.
I'm with you on that one. I just wouldn't have driven over the spike strip dude. I'd have maybe saved the car.
Yeah, Nick Cage. Yeah, Nick Cage could have used the vehicle for part of this.
I mean, some of it, it's like, they talked about moving, but this could happen really anywhere. It's not like moving really prevents.
Nick Cage is a mastermind. He wanted to get captured.
Maybe I just join a better cult.
Did I miss it? Where'd he get the car that he drives away with at the end? Then
it was their station wagon they were driving.
Yeah,
in. It was the side. It was the second car. It was the side.
He found it when he killed the one dude by the fire.
It was the
pit.
van, and then there was the
where he decapitated him.
Yeah.
What about you, Nate?
I mean, I don't know how this movie is supposed to be taken in terms of the visuals, because is it what she's seeing, or is it like our view of what's happening? So, for instance, when the headlights of the van are coming over the hill toward Mandy, it was just when she gets saw by the cult in the first place. Mm-hmm. Does she see like a van ominously coming over the hill? Or is that just what we see? Like,
I don't know. That scene to me was confusing.
Because if that is what she does see, there's about 8 billion trees to hide in, like all around. It's kind of like side detour into the trees for a bit. And then, if you're not going to be careful with that kind of thing, because all right, maybe it's a car. You definitely don't tell random strangers where you live. When they come come into your shop.
Stranger danger 101.
Exactly. So if you're not going to be that careful, second layer of carefulness, don't tell even old ladies, even sensual old ladies, don't tell them where you live.
That's like, oh, you want to use a credit card for this? Cool. Okay. I need to know your billing address.
Yeah.
And your
yeah.
Guys. All right. Well, guys, listen, what about the sequel?
Because let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
I mean, this movie, I think, is rife with the ability for sequels. We've
really?
We've already kind of mentioned, you took one of mine earlier with your Freddy or Jason Voorhees thing because they're at Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be
It was pretty obvious. Come on.
Well,
Come on.
It was understated that they were there. And then also we talked about the Ghost Rider origin story. So, I mean, this could easily lead into new Ghost Rider. Nate, what would you have done? What was your sequel?
Well, so this is 1980s America, right?
This is America, yeah.
And that's when all the cults were happening, right? What if Mandy got a scar because she was in another cult?
Okay.
Previously, and she escaped. That was why
her dad made her join.
That's why, exactly. That's why she was so distressed, right? Like generally, and then they found each other and they were better, and that's why it was so heartbreaking when she died. She has writings in their place. She did a lot of writings, a lot of drawings. She was doing a lot of reading.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage goes and then reads her things when he's like, back, and he can decompress and figure out, what to do after he murdered all those people. And then he reads this thing in her diary almost or something, finds it, goes back, kills that cult. Mandy 2, Serpent's Kiss, which is the name of the book she was reading. Boom, tie-in.
All right, I like it. I was thinking, I would like to see he goes off trying to find the next cult. Like now his vision is now to just destroy cults across the country, and the next biggest one he knows is the Goblin.
Goblin?
The Cheddar Goblin.
This is like a Halloween 3.
Yes.
The Cheddar Goblin is like the mask.
Yeah, it's going after the children. Like, you need to get our mac and cheese and eat it in front of the TV at this time on Halloween night. And so he's going to go. He's going to go.
Cheddar Goblin.
Boom.
It fits. All the syllables actually match.
It fits.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, that's my sequel.
The Mandy 2 Cheddar Goblin, or you just go Cheddar Goblin. You don't even need Mandy in the title for that one.
Yeah, and then I'm saying it's Goblin good is the tagline.
Kids are gobbling this up.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. They both work.
Lisa, what about you?
So not so much of a sequel, but I was just thinking another spin on this. And then I realized there's a movie out right now that has exactly this, but I wanted to see
Crazy Rich Asians?
No. I wanted to see a woman.
Crazy Rich Goblins. Sorry.
I wanted to see a woman who loses her husband or boyfriend or whoever and goes on a revenge tour.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized Peppermint's out right now with Jennifer Garner, and it's that exact plot. So she
I
loses.
heard Peppermint wasn't that great though, so you could.
So they need to do a better one then.
Yeah.
But I want John Wick this whatever, but from the other side.
So what's it called?
Gender bender. I don't know. I hadn't thought of it.
Who would you cast for this?
Yeah. How about that?
What actress today could give you a quality like cage rage?
So like I'm gonna fill in the gaps for you here. Your husband, played by Tommy Wiseau, brutally murdered.
He is your Rose.
God, no one would go after revenge.
Damn, Tommy. Don't do Tommy like that.
Who would I get to
tearing
play
him
this?
apart, Lisa.
Yeah,
You know who would be good? Even though I've only ever seen her in
God.
funny stuff, but I
What?
feel like this could be her first dramatic role. Is Leslie Jones?
Oh, Leslie
I feel like she
Jones.
would.
She could bring the fire.
Do a great job.
Oh, Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which means Colin Jost has to die, but you know.
Yeah, Colin Jost dies.
Colin Jost died.
And Leslie goes on a revenge tour. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's called FML.
I love it. All right, well, that's going to bring us to the last segment.
Final cut.
Woo, okay, I have a feeling I know. You want to go last?
I want to go last.
All right. Well, Lisa, why don't you set the basement for us?
You got to build up. When you're building a cult, a wooden cult, cruciform cult rec center? Was that a rec center?
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess
Compound.
I'll say before I say my rating, I don't like cults. I don't like demons.
Bold stance.
I don't like
Bold stances.
an endless slaughter of people.
This November, vote Lisa. She's she's anti-cult.
I'm against
anti-demon.
Although I'm
pro-wizard, though.
I am. I'm actually happy that Taylor wasn't a guest this time because a lot of birds got crowbarred in a story.
Woo,
right?
yeah,
I mean, you're anti-bird crowbarring.
Oh, baby bird crowbar.
Okay, exactly. Okay.
I'm anti-face melting psychedelic visions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anti-weird cartoon psychedelic visions. I don't like that kind of thing.
I wasn't a huge fan of the cartoon.
There
It was
was-
kind of like Kill Bill, the cartoon.
Yeah.
part.
There was, I don't think, a single thing in this movie that I like.
Oh man,
So, yeah.
this is the
not
one.
Good.
This is the one, huh?
I was going to give it like a 3 because cinematically, I guess it's okay. I feel like it would have been okay. It was just so long. Like, it takes an entire half of the movie before she dies and we get going on the plot here. So, I don't know. It was way too long. So, I'd say maybe 3 out of 10 axe scythe things.
It had a handle on the top inside the axe part.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I guess for more leverage.
I learned this from my dojo.
Yeah. It was almost like it was a better. I watched Infinity War recently. It was a better like forging of a weapon scene than Infinity War had, which is actually pretty impressive.
Was it?
Yeah, it was better.
Was it?
Yeah, he's actually like hammering it out. The thing looked ridiculous.
Truthfully, I think
'Cause
I think his use of the sawzall and Mom and Dad was better.
Sawzall.
It's sawzall. Okay.
So you're saying in terms of Nick Cage 2018 movies, you like Mom and Dad better than this one?
Oh God, no! I hated Mom and Dad.
Okay, so
I'm starting to rethink everything I thought of. I don't know if
Mom
there's
and
ever
Dad,
been a Nick Cage
Mandy,
movie I've liked.
Cage match. Who walks out?
You know, my favorite Nick Cage is Andy Samberg.
That's high praise.
That's high praise. Why am I not in this movie? Yeah.
No, but if you had to pick Mandy versus Mom and Dad, what do you got? Gotta pick one.
No, I don't.
Gotta pick one.
No,
She'd pick getting burned alive in a burlap sack.
Mitch is gonna get burned alive in a burlap sack unless you pick one of these two movies.
He would have dove into the forest. He'd be fine.
All right. So I know you're going to come in high.
I was going to say this. Lisa never made a choice. Never made a choice on that.
Between those two movies, I'm
Yeah.
not going to make a choice. Both terrible.
This November.
It's a real Sophie's
Treasure.
choice of movie.
This November, Lisa, don't vote for Lisa. She won't pick between Mandy and Mom and Dad. What else is she hiding?
I don't like cults. I don't like demons.
When you go to the
don't-
voting booth, vote Cheddar Goblin.
I kind of want to make campaign stickers now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you're coming in hot on this, Nate. So I'm going to temper expectations. So again, I thought the pacing for the first hour is really weird. For it being very John Wick-esque, John Wick got us to the action and the meat of it in a quicker and a more efficient and I would say a more effective way.
Oh, these are two different movies. This is not John Wick.
I understand it's
It's
not
like a
John
more-
Wick, but I don't need an
it's more of a-
hour
it's more
of
of a
random
classic
but
revenge tale.
Don't get all the. It's not your movie.
I
It's
was just
fine.
saying, I was just
It's
saying,
fine,
just
Nate.
saying.
Did you add to the Kickstarter? I mean, you're getting very defensive.
I would have.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like I thought the visuals really good. Obviously, Cage Rage is great. I wish the things that worked well for this movie, and there were several things, they just didn't spend a lot of time on those things. Like where you have your money's on Nick Cage. Don't wait until like an hour and 10 to start giving me some Cage Rage.
The thing is, I think this guy like wrote the movie a long time ago and is like, I don't care.
To be fair, I didn't
the kind of
realize
guy.
Cage. Your story about why Cage is in there instead of like it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Anyone else, I don't have those expectations probably coming in.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes
but
sense.
like I said, the first hour could have been trimmed to about 30, 45 minutes. And still probably been about as effective.
Yeah.
So it took a lot to get into. Once we got to that and we got to the second half, it was great. A lot of cool death scenes, a lot of cool effects. So it's almost like I have to rate both halves separately
and then average them out.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, I would give the first half like a 5 out.
Oh,
a 5
shit.
out of 10.
That seems high. That seems high.
A 5 out of 10 blinking lights.
More than 5. That's for sure.
And the second half, I would definitely give a 7 out of 10 spike studs.
Okay.
And yes, I mean, I'd give it about overall 6 out of 10 ripped shirts.
Okay. What if, well, maybe I should let Nate say his rating, then I'll ask my question.
No. Go ahead. Go for it.
No. Say what you're going to say, then
Well,
I'll ask.
I was gonna say, imagine the extended cut of this movie. Like, what was the director's cut look like for this? Oh man,
This wasn't the director's cut?
all I gotta say is this: first, don't watch this. There's a lot of things Lisa said. If you have epilepsy, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, gosh, I
I don't know
know.
what to tell you about this movie. This could be rough for you.
You're gonna hurt her real bad.
Yeah. But no, for me, if I liked it the most, I don't even know what to say. The dialogue is slow. It is deliberate. It is weird.
Yeah.
That's what this guy does. So it's hard to, this guy's going to make movies and they're always going to be like that. I think that's a slight negative though. The visuals are crazy. The lighting is literally impossible and awesome at all times. It's ridiculous. The Cheddar Goblin is like 2 points by itself.
No.
The Cheddar Goblin thing is crazy. The biker outfits were nuts. I guarantee you the director was on drugs during part of this. Maybe just the writing part, something. It was the drug bend on this and his other movie is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard for me. I was between a 7 and an 8. So I think I'm going to go 7. I'm going to set 7 long saws.
Okay. All right.
I think I'm going to watch this movie about 3 or 4 more times. So I'll get back to you with a report later after I do that.
Yeah.
It might go higher. It might be 8, might get up to 9.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
got potential for me.
I think we're gonna start doing a new episode here, where after so long we're gonna do kind of a retrospect. How would you rate them differently now? Because I think there are some of these movies where we've looked at them
Yeah.
And fresh glance, we're like either, oh, this is amazing, or oh, I hated this. And then I wonder after time, do we feel a little differently about it?
No.
Does that mean that we get to make Lisa watch The Omen again?
Why? I'm not rewatching all 60
but at least
movies
you
so
can.
far.
I think we'll allow us to maybe change our scores. You know, maybe I've got some new thoughts about Hereditary now that
it's corrections and omissions kind of a thing. Yeah.
Okay, so Lisa, you had one more question you wanted to ask.
Super quick. Did y'all's 2 ratings change if it was Elijah Wood as Red?
Nah,
and
I think it's worse.
Nick Cage as the cult leader?
I don't know, because I'm thinking of Elijah Wood in Sin City, and it wasn't great.
Okay.
I
liked him in Sin City.
It was just weird, but it was bad. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I mean, just coming off being Frodo, it was hard.
Yeah.
He's too innocent.
He's Frodo.
Yeah.
He's
been other stuff.
I would be more interested if it's Samwise Gamgee in the bag getting burned alive.
Shit.
Sam. Yeah. Oh man.
And the cult leader's Gollum? Or
oh
what?
yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all down for that.
Yeah. Return of the King, bitch. Slice him. Wow. That would be great.
Yeah.
God, Sam got burned. The love would be real.
Yeah, for sure.
The love is real. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Nate, where can they find us?
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at TX Pod Massacre. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, our website at TexasPodcastMassacre.com. Email us at TexasPodcastMassacre@gmail.com. And check us out on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Please rate, review, and subscribe where possible.
All right, well, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.